Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 405 based on novel. So let's start. As one of the three giants in the ancient prison, Feng Xiaoyan was completely beheaded by Liu Hao. His body and spirit were destroyed, and he had the cover of Liu Hao's bright breath, and the two giants below could not detect it for a while. Zaidu became quiet and everything was going on in an orderly and secret way. As for Liu Hao, relying on the cover of his immortal weapon, he was slowly investigating the conspiracy of the alien race. For him, this was not just this kind of experience is also a huge improvement. Once you find the exact evidence of the alien race, then everything will be worth it. On the other side, the snake and scorpion blood twisted her extremely enchanting body, twisting and turning towards the space where Jiyu Yuan and the peerless emperor stepped into. She was not in a hurry, and she seemed to have absolute confidence. No matter what means Jiyu Yuan has, they can't escape from their palms in the end, because this is hell, and it is a palace of death specially prepared for them. As early as when they controlled the ancient race, they were doomed to the destruction of this race, and the rest it's just a matter of time. This snake spirit. Seeing this, Xiao Yan couldn't help shaking his head. That graceful figure might have stolen the body of a human woman, but this evil shadow has a trace of the same source as Kaylin's, all belong to the same snake-type creature. If I knew that a drop of blood essence for Kaylin would be enough to solve the current situation, the blood essence of Shitsai swallowing python is enough to cause a crushing situation in the face of any snake-type creature. Senior, are you sure you are here? In the space, Jiyu Yuan walked in front, looking at this dark space passage, his brows wrinkled. The dark space in front of him was still endless, he couldn't help but say. In order to protect the safety of the Holy Maiden, prevent entering the Holy Land from delaying the Holy Maiden's inheritance, and in order to prevent another key to enter the Holy Land from being obtained by foreign evil races, I had to seal it here. It is extremely hidden here, even if it is they didn't even notice. It's right in front. The peerless Heavenly Emperor was disheveled, with white hair draped everywhere, and took the lead to walk above the void. For him, this was the void he created himself, and he was naturally very familiar with it. Arrive. It's here. The two walked some distance, and the peerless Heavenly Emperor raised his palm and slammed it down. The space barrier in front of him was torn apart by it, and a rather exquisite void emerged, and there was nothing in it, with only a pale yellow trace of the quaint stone box in the center. If there is no peerless emperor, I am afraid it is extremely difficult for ordinary people to find the real void. Several layers of seals were set on the stone box, which looked the same as ordinary objects but was extremely thick. The layers of thick dust on it were enough to show that it had existed for decades and no one had been found. Is this the only key to enter the Holy Land? Seeing this, Jiyu Yuan relaxed slightly. Although he knew that Zuna had not fallen, he had not heard from him for decades. Even as a father, he felt a burst of sigh, so he quite worried about Zuna's situation. Wait, don't worry. Jiyu Yuan's heart lit up when he saw this. As long as he got this key, he could enter the Holy Land. When he thought of his daughter, his father couldn't help but feel a little guilty. Since the great change of the ancient race, the three keys to enter the Holy Land have lost their effect, because the passage space to enter the Holy Land has been secretly changed by the peerless Heavenly Emperor, so Rao is also unable to enter the three keys of the evil race from outside the territory. This thing in front of you is the key to enter the Holy Land, and it is also the only key. With a sound, layers of Do Chi emerged from peerless Heavenly Emperor's body, and he lifted the layers of seals as if he was familiar with the road, and immediately jumped up and came directly to the stone box. With a sound, a grey square jade stone lay quietly in the stone box, and the jade stone was filled with an ancient atmosphere. This is... Jiyu Yuan was trembling and lost his voice. From the grey jade, he could clearly smell a trace of the ancient ancestor's breath, and it was definitely the key. But Xiao Yang... Jiyu Yuan suddenly hesitated after breathing down. That kid has a unique skill, and now he has to make a choice between the two of them. Time is running out, and I can feel that they are approaching here. He is very familiar with the breath of the snake and scorpion blood. If he has recovered to the peak, it is easy to say, but now his own strength is not 1 out of 10, and he has no strength to confront him head-on. No, Xiao Yang must be rescued first. After a deep voice, Jiyu Yuan also had a choice. Xiao Yang was hunted down by the snake and scorpion, and his life and death were uncertain, while Zuna should be relatively safe. When the peerless Heavenly Emperor heard the words, a rare glint of light flashed in his eyes. Obviously he had expected it for a long time, but when he thought of the terrifying evil power in the late 8-star fighting immortal stage of Snake Scorpion Blooder, he had a headache. Old guy, you are so anxious, where are you going? Just as the peerless heavenly emperor took action, the surrounding void suddenly trembled. Protected, countless bites and growls emerged, and the entire void turned out to be slowly swallowed, and scenes of rare bloodlight flashed out. Vaguely the void passage was falling towards an unknown evil palace. Not good. Never let her drag us into her realm. Looking at this scene, the surrounding void was slowly dragged by countless blood snakes, and there were faint signs of falling downwards, and the peerless heavenly emperor lost his voice. He had already fought against the blood of snakes and scorpions. He knew the latter's methods too well, especially the blood of the snakes and scorpions. It was enough to make the peerless heavenly emperor truly move. 8-star Doshian level powerhouses usually fight in their respective fields. After all, the power that ordinary Gekon can withstand is too weak, and they can't help their attack strength at this level. The snake and scorpion Schwer didn't care. Countless blood snakes roared fiercely. After a while, a real blood prison of thousands of feet appeared. The realm of the blood of the snake and scorpion, the realm of blood of the snake and scorpion. Here, the power of the blood of the snake and scorpion has been greatly increased, almost close to the invincible existence, and the two who have not yet recovered their strength fall into it, and the end may be extremely tragic. It seems that this guy's strength is comparable to half a king. Xiao Yan said coldly, and was bound by the blood of the snake and scorpion behind him, but through the distance he was approaching now, Xiao Yan could see that the blood snake was quietly entrenched on the hair of the snake and scorpion Schwer, and the countless blood snakes around seemed to be listening to this. In an instant, the corners of Xiao Yan's mouth slowly wriggled, and the 5 holy flames in his body quietly emerged and condensed. Immediately, an invisible threat slowly approached the blood of the snake and scorpion, but his eyes and attention were completely attracted by the 2 peerless emperors. Just noticed. A holy flame of that level, even if it can't really kill the blood of the snakes and scorpions, it's probably enough to cause real damage. The blood-red realm filled with bloodlight is eerie, and the gorilla wind is moving. A creepy feeling of suffocation can be heard. In the snake and scorpion blood realm, countless evil forces have emerged around the snake and scorpion blood, and 10 blood snakes have emerged. Coiled on top of the hair on the top of his head, surrounded by extremely ferocious evil blood snakes, the peerless heavenly emperor and Jiu Yuan are tightly surrounded. It's troublesome now. Seeing the terrifying battle of the snake and scorpion blood, plus Xiao Yang being bound by it, the peerless heavenly emperor frowned. Senior, can you delay for a while? The next moment, Jiu Yuan looked in Xiao Yang's direction, and when he saw Xiao Yang's soul immediately wriggling with flames, he instantly understood Xiao Yang's intention. He is condensing the reincarnation of Buddha's wrath, but the fusion of the 5 holy flames takes a lot of time. What's going on? Peerless heavenly emperor also vaguely smelled a rather terrifying aura from Xiao Yang's body, and said, "Bring me the key, old man." With a cold snort, the snake and scorpion stretched out its slender hand, ignoring the 2 of them. A snake opened its mouth and bit them directly. With a sound, he lost his mind, and the jade key that opened the Holy Land was snatched by him. Is this the only key to enter the Holy Land? Just as the jade was in hand, snake and scorpion's lips and teeth flickered as he laughed. Give it back to me. The prison wall of the wind. The peerless heavenly emperor suddenly roared, the cyan swirling around his body turned into a cyan hurricane, roaring and blasting the blood of the snakes and scorpions. The oppression contained in it is also depressing. Obviously, the strength of the peerless heavenly emperor 8-star fighting immortal in the late stage, even if the power does not exist in 10, the power contained in it is not diminished in the slightest. Go. Seeing the peerless heavenly emperor so desperately, the blood snake in the hands of the snake and scorpion blood surging, collided with his blue hurricane. Boom. The harsh energy touched the sound, shocking the eardrums of several people, causing Xiao Yang's brewing 5-color Buddha's wrath to reincarnate, and it quietly covered it. Next, look at me, but it's still a little short. At this time, Xiao Yang sat quietly on the ground. The blood snakes all over his body could not detect the strange fluctuations in Xiao Yang's body, because Xiao Yang's fusion was carried out in a sea of fighting spirit. Looking around, in the now empty Do Chi Sea, in addition to the high-speed operation of the firewood double bucket core, 5 flames of different colors are slowly beating, they are slowly merging, and once they are completely fused, the terrifying power contained in the 5-color Buddha's wrath of samsara may be enough to make the snakes and scorpions feel really troubled. Crash. The melodious tide of energy hung down from the sky, and the peerless heavenly emperor did not hesitate at all. The cyan battle chi emerged from his body jumped, and he directly attacked the snake and scorpion. Are you alright? Jiu Yuan easily came to Xiao Yang's side during the battle of the sky and asked. It's alright. Xiao Yang nodded lightly to him and smiled lightly. An amber arc of fire in his body like a blazing sun slowly radiated from his body. This is. Just as the amber fire fox rose in Xiao Yang's body, a rare tremor appeared in the entire blood prison, and even the peerless heavenly emperor who fought against the snake and scorpion couldn't help muttering. Such a terrifying holy flame. In my memory, there is absolutely no holy flame that can emit such a huge amount of energy. Snake and scorpion Shuer also raised her eyebrows and exclaimed. After the breath, the evil blood snake chain on Xiao Yang's body was easily shattered, and he regained his freedom. On top of Xiao Yang's head, 5 colored flames slowly entrenched, and the fusion was completed. 5 petals of different colors, every leaf contains the sacred breath of the ancient times. The 5-colored fire lotus trembled gently, and on each fire lotus petal, fire foxes with completely different properties shot out in all directions, shaking constantly, as if something shocking was about to descend into this prison. This guy, I haven't seen him for a long time, and his strength is really getting more and more terrifying. Seeing Xiao Yang's actions so shocking, Jiyu Yuan's mouth also showed a wry smile. With a sound, the 5-colored flames easily protected Xiao Yang, Jiyu Yuan, and the peerless heavenly emperor, and immediately wiped out the world-annihilating beam, which became more and more intense. Senior, it's still a little bit. At this time, Jiyu Yuan saw Xiao Yang's soul tumbling in his body, and immediately understood something. The 5-color Buddha's anger reincarnation fusion is completed, but it must be guided by soul power and burning determination, and the target must be completely locked. You mustn't let this guy use his attack, otherwise there will be nothing left here. At this moment, there was a trace of fear in the beautiful eyes of the snake and scorpion, and she said solemnly, because from the 5-color fire lotus, she also really smelled an extreme threat. Although that kind of attack is not enough to kill her, but if she takes it abruptly, I am afraid that she will also be seriously injured. And me. Seeing this, the peerless heavenly emperor nodded suddenly, all the fighting energy in his body whistled out, and suddenly the blood of the snake and scorpion was temporarily entangled. You immortal bastard! Seeing this, snake-scorpion Shuer's pressure increased greatly, but he did not dare to underestimate the peerless heavenly emperor, so he could only deal with it immediately. With the help of the peerless heavenly emperor, Xiao Yang's last step was completely completed. The rolling of his soul force made Xiao Yang completely lock the body of the snake and scorpion blood, and the blessing of the power of Fen Ju completely stabilized the reincarnation of the 5-color Buddha's anger. Try this. After the blink of an eye, Xiao Yang's eyes were scarlet, blue veins bulging, the 5-color flame above his head easily came to his hands, the 5-color fire lotus swelled violently, and then the petals suddenly collapsed for a while, the divine aura emerged, enough to easily purify the power of countless evil chi that burned the blood prison, and came, this stinky boy. Feeling the tingling fire of the holy flame, 10 blood snakes appeared together on the top of the hair of the snake and scorpion blood. An unprecedented depression swept over her delicate body. 5-color fire lotus, at the moment of flying, 5 fire lotus petals of different colors have disappeared, revealing the most pure and flawless 5-color fire lotus, which contains power that is indescribable. Scorpion blood. Xiao Yang shouted in a low voice, and the majestic soul power swept out, wrapping the fire lotus, the speed skyrocketed, and assassinated the fleeing snakes and scorpion blood. The body of the snake and scorpion, million snake venom, the power of 10 snakes. In an instant, the snake and scorpion Shuer fled some distance, but also found that there was no hope of escaping, because he had been locked by it. Even if he fled to the ends of the earth, he would still be tracked by it, and immediately snorted, covering the shade. The evil spirit of Japan unfolds along with what he has learned throughout his life. Bang bang bang. At that time, in the entire blood prison, the mountains and rivers collapsed, the void squirmed, and explosions like the wrath of the gods swept the entire blood prison. The spooky blood prison was filled with countless blood snakes, turning it into a real hell, but with the attack of Xiao Yang's 5-color flames and the blood of the snakes and scorpions, the entire blood prison scene was extremely hot, and the space was riddled with holes, as if encountering it was an extremely brutal fight. The loud noise like the wrath of the gods covered the entire blood prison. The evil void around the blood prison suddenly became dim at this moment, and the hot fire foxes overflowed with the aura of destruction, and the huge void cracks gently filled the air. Come out, as appalling as the end of the world. What a terrifying power. Even with the protection of Xiao Yang's power, peerless heavenly emperor and Jiyu Yuan were behind Xiao Yang and couldn't help but mutter. This level of attack, let alone the snakes, is extremely difficult even for peerless heavenly emperors of the same strength. Bang bang bang. The five-color Buddha's wrath exploded in reincarnation, like a volcanic lava vent venting its anger, and countless sacred breaths swept out with the scorching flames, defeating the mighty snake and scorpion blood. Good. Okay, you stinky boy. Before the sound of the explosion had completely dissipated, an extremely angry shout emerged, and the sound contained extremely cold killing intent. Serpent Schwer never dreamed that a human kid in the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals would be able to display such appalling means of attack. If it wasn't for her own unique skills, I'm afraid she would have just fallen to the ground, but this is so, a strong killing intent lingered in the heart of the snake and scorpion blood. Now she is quite embarrassed, and her body is white and red. Bloodstains appeared on the skin, and even the lifeline blood snake on the top of the head had already died. Sure enough, it's still a little short. Hearing the angry roar of the snake and scorpion blood from the center of the explosion, a wry smile appeared on the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth. His current strength is only in the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. If he achieves consummation, he will have a better chance of winning against the snake. There are actually some sequelae. His eyes were fixed on the center of the explosion. After a while, a strong sense of dizziness emerged, and Xiao Yang couldn't help frowning. This time, he still used the fusion of the 5 holy flames in an upright manner, but he didn't actually kill the enemy, and now his body's fighting chi and soul power are nearly exhausted. It seems that this time, it is quite dangerous. I know you're not dead, get out. Xiao Yang insisted on a strong posture. In order not to let the snakes and scorpions notice, the ancient ruler suddenly held in his hand, and sneered. I really underestimate you. I never thought that the most ordinary guy is the most terrifying one. The aftermath of the explosion slowly dissipated, and the snake and scorpion walked out gently, but beneath the contemptuous smile contained a monstrous killing intent. The killing intent of the powerhouses in the later stage of the 8-star Yan, that level is definitely not something that Xiao Yang can resist today. Little chops. Leave your life to my mother. As soon as the voice fell, there were only 4 blood snakes left above the head of the snake and scorpion Schwer, whistling and roaring, and immediately twisted their enchanting figure, facing Xiao with a blood demon-like posture of extreme evil. The flames roared. 4 pieces. Xiao Yang looked at the snake and scorpion roaring like a madman, and immediately smiled coldly, but he did not make any move, but his eyes slowly closed, and the ancient ruler in his hand flickered with a dazzling brilliance. It seems to be sensing something. Xiao Yang, step back. Looking at this scene, peerless Heavenly Emperor and Jiu Yuan's hearts, drops of cold sweat involuntarily surfaced. The current killing intent and attacking power of the snake and scorpion blooder is much more tyrannical than before. No phase slash. Just when the red lips of the snake and scorpion blood were squirming and a sneer appeared, Xiao Yang's eyes suddenly opened, and a terrifying aura of silence filled the air, and then the ancient ruler in his hand lightened. Swipe it away lightly. What? Snake and scorpion Schwer sensed a bad aura from Xiao Yang's extremely strange behavior, and immediately stayed in the air, her beautiful eyes watching the surroundings vigilantly. What power? Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Jiu Yuan looked at each other and muttered. Crack. With a sound, a tide of invisible energy rushed towards the snake and scorpion blood without any sign, and suddenly there were 4 scarred blood snakes above its head, which suddenly squirmed. And go. The snake and scorpion Schwer didn't react yet, and all of a sudden, mouthfuls of scarlet blood sprayed out from its attractive red lips, and after losing 6 and 3 lifeline blood snakes in a row, it passed out directly. Senior, grab her. At this moment, Xiao Yang snorted coldly, obviously his strength was close to being overdrawn. Where to run? Wind prisoner. The peerless Heavenly Emperor had sharp eyesight, and with a big wave of his hand, dozens of cyan hurricanes surrounded the snake and scorpion blood, suppressing his body without a trace. Watching the peerless Heavenly Emperor finish all this, the ancient ruler fell heavily in Xiao Yang's hand. Xiao Yang was relieved and sat on the ground gasping for breath. Good boy, you have courage. Peerless Heavenly Emperor couldn't help but pat Xiao Yang's shoulder and laughed. If it wasn't for Xiao Yang's help this time, I'm afraid it would be really dead. Senior, you're very polite. Seeing this, Xiao Yang scratched his head and smiled. The demon embryos in the ancient prison are becoming more and more terrifying, and the souls of countless ancient powerhouses are suppressed and sealed here. If the evil clan from outside the territory succeeds, I am afraid that our entire ancient clan will be severely damaged, or even be removed from the name, and a real the evil demons will also be born from this. Peerless Heavenly Emperor's eyes darkened and he said, but there seem to be some evil people in the center of the ancient clan, and there is also the residents of the ancient clan. I'm worried. Jiu Yuan's eyes also flashed with a rare worry, and it was obvious that he was now in a dilemma. Two seniors, in my opinion, we might as well enter the Holy Land first and find Zuna to make a long-term plan. Xiao Yang also gave advice. Good way. The three hit it off and couldn't help but say in surprise. Just this guy. Looking at the seriously injured Serpent Blood, Peerless Heavenly Emperor worried. After all, this guy is a genuine 8-star Dozian late-stage strength. Even if he is seriously injured, if he blows himself up, the three of them will not be good. Fruit to eat. The 10 blood snakes above her head are her lifeline. I killed 9 of them. She should have been temporarily unconscious. Bring her in with the seal, Xiao Yang said after thinking for a while. As one of the 3 giants of the ancient prison's evil shadow, snake and scorpion Shuer could not complete the beheading with the current Xiao Yang and the 3 of them, and could not let her go back, so he could only resort to this, and maybe he could get some useful benefits from his mouth. Information. Since now, let's go. After the breath, the jade key flickered, and the snake and scorpion blood was suppressed by Xiao Yanli's 3-layer outer 3-layer restraint. Even if he woke up, it would not be a climate. Zuna, I'm here. Looking at the passage leading to the ancient Holy Land in front of him, Xiao Yang called out from his dry throat, and immediately poured into it. At this point, the 3 of them headed towards the ancient sacred place with the blood of the snake and scorpion. As for the so-called Liu Hao, there is no such luck. Without any barriers, Xiao Yang and his party successfully passed through the space passage and entered the Holy Land, but along the way, they discovered that there were already many evil creatures coveting the Holy Land around the Holy Land. Fortunately, the Holy Land was protected by the powerful breath of the ancient ancestors of all dynasties. Here. Is it the Holy Land of the ancient clan? Jiyu Yuan and Xiao Yang had just arrived here, and they couldn't help but say, especially Jiyu Yuan and the Peerless Heavenly Emperor, the bloodlines in their bodies began to heat up faintly, and a wave originated from the coercion in the depths of the blood and soul shocked the 2 of them. Obviously, this is the so-called holy place. This is the Holy Land. The worry on Peerless Heavenly Emperor's face dimmed slightly. Such a big ancient clan, the senior members of the ancient clan and the clansmen actually followed the Tao of the foreign evil clan one after another, and were controlled by it. The entire ancient world, the ancient prison became the base camp of the foreign evil clan, which itself is a shame. Fortunately, this ancient the most important holy land of the clan has not fallen, and it can be regarded as a little consolation in such a crisis. What a strange holy place. Xiao Yang frowned, looking at this rather barren land. A trace of golden flames were looming, and there was an extremely obscure ancient atmosphere in the distance, making Xiao Yang unable to help surprised. Looking around, this so-called ancient sacred place is clearly a very rich land, majestic mountains. The terrain of the mountains is from high to low, the trails are quite rugged, and above the mountains, there are conspicuous coffins placed everywhere. On the way up the mountain, it's puzzling. What is that? After the blink of an eye, Jiyu Yuan pointed to an ancient tree in front of him and said, his voice trembling and strange. What? Xiao Yang and Peerless Heavenly Emperor followed the voice and saw a scene of a golden giant cocoon that was about tens of meters in the line of sight of the 3. On the golden giant cocoon, there are countless mysterious ancient golden patterns, forming a majestic beauty of dragon flying and phoenix dancing, and wrapped in the giant cocoon, there is a terrifying aura that makes the 3 people stun. Golden cocoon? Could it be that the rumors within the clan are true? Golden Emperor Fen Tianyang is really the legacy of the Holy Flame. Only by mastering this flame can there be a slight chance to understand the Holy Flame. Looking at this scene, a trace of ecstasy emerged on the face of the Peerless Heavenly Emperor. Just as the 3 of them were about to observe at close range, the scenery in front of them shattered, and it turned out to be an illusion. I have sensed Zuna's faint breath. Go to the top of the mountain. After the breath, Zuna's soul power on the soul jade shook slightly, Xiao Yang said excitedly. Just as Xiao Yang and the others were about to move, the severely injured snake and scorpion swayed slightly, apparently about to wake up. Then wait. For a while, Xiao Yang also stopped and stayed quietly beside Snake Shuer. The matter of the ancient prison and even the ancient clan must be completely resolved, and the terrifying power of the snake and scorpion blood, coupled with the sublime status, I am afraid to know a lot of things. The beautiful eyes just opened, and the only blood snake above the hair on the top of the head was shaking slightly. Obviously this time the injury was too serious. Where is this? Snake Shuer couldn't help muttering in a low voice, because it gave her a rather soft aura, which was extremely strange, but it made her quite frightened. How many people do you have in your extraterrestrial evil clan army? Xiao Yang asked with interest as he crouched beside the snake and scorpion blood. Little beast. If it falls into elder sister's hands, elder sister will definitely rip off her skin and drink blood, so that you will know what the real despair is. Seeing Xiao Yang's harmless face, the snake and scorpion roared hideously. Bang bang bang. However, let the snake and scorpion blood roar how, the 6 layers of seals around him honestly suppress and seal it down, and there is no sign of breaking free. Humph, if you don't want to die, just call it, otherwise. In Xiao Yang's hands, the 5-colored flames slowly wriggled. I won't tell you if you kill me. Snake Scorpion Xiao sneered. Forget it, let's go to the top of the mountain first. After some inquiries, Snake Scorpion Xiao's impregnable red lips couldn't be shaken, and the 3 of them shook their heads. Is this the so-called ancient sacred place? Except for those vassal races living in the ancient clan, all the powerhouses have been controlled by us. Now this place has completely turned into a hell. You are just the humble ants who witnessed the coming of hell. Once my king succeeds, the entire Doyun continent will be completely obliterated by him. There are not many good days left for you, so enjoy it. Snake Scorpion Xiao smiled grimly, and there was a maddening smile in the laughter. There's so much nonsense. At this moment, a touch of energy from Peerless Heavenly Emperor's body directly hit the blood of the snake and scorpion, causing quite serious scars. Dying. Seeing this, Xiao Yang and Jiu Yuan couldn't help but look at each other. This guy is too cruel, right? Let's go to the top of the mountain to find Zuna, and then we can only have a long-term plan. Now that the ancients are killed, I'm afraid there will be a huge challenge next. Peerless Heavenly Emperor was unable to shake his head, and immediately stepped out towards the top of the mountain. Xiao Yang nodded and rushed towards the top of the mountain with the blood of the snake and scorpion in a dying state. Strange, this majestic mountain seems to have buried countless ancient ancestors. Every time it gets closer to the top of the mountain, the pressure is extremely powerful. About halfway up the mountain, Xiao Yang's pressure increased greatly, and the sweat on his forehead continued to emerge. Even the steps are extremely heavy, and each step requires a lot of money. This is the resting place of the ancestors of the ancient clan. Anyone who wants to successfully climb to the top of the mountain will undoubtedly need a lot of consideration. Peerless Heavenly Emperor is also like Xiao Yang, but he still gritted his teeth and faced the top of the mountain step by step. Go! Tear it! In an instant, he seemed to feel that Xiao Yang was suffering so badly. The blood of the Xiao family in Xiao Yang's body was completely boiling, as powerful as a savage bull, and there was a complex touch between his eyebrows. The mysterious light pattern is also more and more dazzling. Xiao Clan Tattoo. In fact, the power of the clan lines between Xiao Yang's eyebrows has long been activated, it's just that Xiao Yang has not discovered it. Xiao Clan? Looking at this scene, the Peerless Heavenly Emperor stood upright in the same place. A touch of incomparable shock emerged in his heart, and the memories of the Xiao clan emerged in his heart like spring water. Little guy, you guys are really lucky. Seeing Xiao Yang's emaciated figure in black shirt, Peerless Heavenly Emperor also followed slowly. At the same time, at the top of the mountain, a golden scorching sun exudes endless splendor, and under the scorching sun, a golden giant cocoon pupa quietly crawls here. The breath in the golden giant cocoon is sacred and inviolable. A touch of light energy, like a sea fairy, endless fairy graceful aura, all on top of the golden giant cocoon. At this moment, everything was silent, even in the golden scorching sun. A touch of power beyond heaven and earth slowly poured into the golden giant cocoon. That kind of power is holy flame, but it's also reincarnation. Wong buzzing. The huge pressure made Xiao Yang and the 3 of them struggle. The rocks under their feet swayed step by step, but in exchange they moved forward a little bit. Even though the distance was only 100 meters, the movement speed of the 3 of them was as slow as a snail, not to mention the strange aura in the coffins on the surrounding mountains, which seemed to be resisting Xiao Yang and the others, causing them to be attacked from front and back. Zuna's breath is getting closer. Seeing that the distance to the top of the mountain is only 100 meters away, the soul jade in Xiao Yang's hand also exudes a gentle temperature, which is obviously very close to Zuna's hiding place. At that time, Xiao Yang would not care how scarred his body was and how great the pressure was. Under these pressures, he gritted his teeth and walked step by step. Even Xiao Yang didn't feel any burden for this, and a sense of relief and guilt lingered in his heart. It has been decades since the 5 emperors broke the sky. In these decades, in order to find and explore the secrets of the Xiao clan, and also to improve their strength, they have been walking in various venues to improve their strength, but Zuna was the last to find them. Undoubtedly, Xiao Yang felt quite self-blame in his heart. Xiao Yang is well aware of Zuna's indifferent character, but for those who are not familiar with life, Xiao Yang is inevitably worried that Zuna will be bullied, and he is not by her side. The top of the towering mountain range in this holy land is completely covered by layers of mist. Whether it is using soul power or other powers, it cannot be sensed at all. The golden giant cocoon can also faintly see traces, which is quite strange. Don't blame yourself, you've done a great job. Zuna won't blame you. I remember she said that she doesn't want to lose to anyone, because she also wants to accompany you to the peak and see the other scenery. Jiu Yuan was keenly aware of Xiao Yang's behavior. Feeling hurt, he put a hand on Xiao Yang's shoulder, and immediately laughed, telling Zuna's little secret hidden in his heart. Well, Dad, let's go together. Xiao Yang heard the words and his body suddenly shook. Obviously, these words came out of Jiu Yuan's mouth and were quite shocking. He could clearly know that the innocent girl in the past, I am afraid that these years it is also extremely difficult. But in the future, all the rest will be taken up by oneself. Boom. A loud sound of energy repelled and pushed Xiao Yang's body away, seemingly intentionally preventing them from entering the space at the top of the Holy Land. The ban on this holy place is too tyrannical, and there seems to be something in the top of the mountain, which makes me uneasy. Zaidu forcefully gritted his teeth and prepared to break through, but Xiao Yang was directly bounced by a layer of invisible energy ripples, and he endured it. He couldn't help getting up and was halfway up the mountain, facing the two. There's no other way. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Jiu Yuan also shot backwards in a rather embarrassed way like Xiao Yang. What on earth is it? That lord didn't tell me that there is a holy flame in the Holy Land. What's the situation now? Seeing Xiao Yang and the others frowning, Snake and Scorpion Blood was slowly watching the misty mountain top. Wondered. Wang buzzing. After the blink of an eye, the body of the Snake and Scorpion Blood trembled abruptly, and a fear from the depths of the soul was released uncontrollably. Holy flame! Ancient ancestors! The Snake and Scorpion Shuer had 10,000 doubts in her heart, but there was something in the Holy Land that made the capital of the three giants fear. In addition, she was seriously injured, and her momentum was weakened for a while. But the fluctuation just now was clearly the exclusive aura of Shenyang, but that kind of power was countless times more tyrannical than the fire of Shenyang on Xiao Yang. If the now seriously injured self confronted head-on, I am afraid that the body and spirit would be destroyed in an instant. Senior, is there any way to jump over these restrictions and go directly to the top of the mountain? After some conversation, Xiao Yang also hurriedly asked. This kind of thing makes Xiao Yang have no way, but the destination is ahead, giving up is not natural. Xiao Yang's style. The soul power of Soul Jade has completely locked on the top of the mountain, and Zuna is in the top of the mountain, which makes Xiao Yang quite eager. Do not know. In the past, the Holy Land was peaceful, but it has never been as severe as it is now. This kind of restriction is probably caused by the Holy Land feeling the evil aura of the outside world, and thus exerting itself. It is impossible to crack it with our strength. Peerless Heavenly Emperor shook his head and said, Holy Land the tyrannical, let alone 8-star fighting immortals, even some ordinary reincarnation powerhouses are helpless, let alone a few of them. And the coffins in these mountains, I remember that they are all the corpses of some fallen powerhouses of the ancient clan. They contain unparalleled power. Why have they all disappeared now? Jiu Yuan's eyes flickered and he wondered. Senior, I used the aura of the holy flame as an introduction. I don't know if this is possible. Since there is the existence of holy flames in this holy land, I am afraid that with holy flames as a guide, I am afraid that it will be enough to respond, and all problems will be solved by then. As of now, I can only try. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Jiu Yuan looked at each other and agreed. Stay back a little bit. Xiao Yang finished speaking, and the bright amber flames around his body slowly rose. Wang buzzing. Just as the holy flames rose from Xiao Yang's body, the golden giant cocoon in the mountain range suddenly produced a series of tremors, followed by streaks of golden light, like bright beams piercing the night, and after a while it turned into raindrops and generally spread everywhere. This is the energy aura of the ancient ancestors. Impossible. Could it be that this girl has been recognized by countless ancestors? But no one has ever been able to. Seeing the golden raindrops drifting around and the thick heat waves swept out, the peerless Heavenly Emperor couldn't help but lose his voice, and an awe-inspiring aura filled his heart. Wang buzzing. At the same time, the burning determination in Xiao Yang's body, the holy flame crystal, including the amber rock soul fire, etc., immediately trembled, and an aura of obedience was released from it. With a sound, a golden scorching sun descended slowly like a god's mansion in the sky, and the endless splendor showed the supreme glory, decorating the entire holy place like a temple. Golden scorching sun, golden light, golden flame, and looking down from the three, A lonely figure sitting slightly in the middle, lightly entrenched, a light breath spreads out, a circle of golden black and golden patterns slightly on the center of his eyebrows. Flickering, extraordinarily mysterious. Impossible. At this moment, the eyes of the snake and scorpion blood suddenly tightened, and a fear from the bottom of the heart was displayed from head to toe, and the cold breath of death really moved her. Golem. This is the supreme holy flame ranked 8th on the holy flame list. There was a rare dizziness and a touch of consternation in Xiao Yang's mind. Isn't the beautiful figure sitting quietly in front of him the same Zuna he was thinking about at night? This video will end here.